Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Professors of Profit Vlogcast. I'm your host, Dr. F Scott Feil, and our guest today is one extraordinary guest, somebody that I've listened to for a long time, I've admired for many, many years. You may know him as the host of the podcast Entrepreneurs on Fire, EOF. You may know him as JLD. You may know him as John Lee Dumas. John, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I appreciate it.
F Scott, I am excited to be here, brother. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so John, I'm a physical therapist by trade, right? And I'm also a professor. Both professions, they basically required either a professional license or a terminal degree in order to get to that point, right? But I also ended up with $140,000 worth of student loan debt to get to that point. So while it seems all, rainbows and unicorns, there's another side to things, and that's that debt to income ratio to get to that point, right? So, that's how I kind of started my foray into entrepreneurship. I had to figure out another way to pay off these student loan debts because the 9-to-5 wasn't going to cut it, right? So what would you say are some of the benefits to becoming an entrepreneur or kind of exploring entrepreneurship for maybe professors or healthcare clinicians that are in a similar situation like me?
I want to make it very simple for people. You can literally make it as an entrepreneur if you do one thing. If you create the best solution to a real problem. I'm not talking about this big save the world, save, world peace, end hunger problem. I'm talking about one specific problem. If you can become the best solution to that, you will win as an entrepreneur. And winning as an entrepreneur means you will generate revenue. So don't make this complicated. Like, don't try to go overboard thinking that you need to be, again, launching the next Amazon.com. Like, no, you need to sit down. You need to say, hey, listen, what is my personal big idea? Like, what's something that I can bring to the world right now that's within my zone of fire, within my skill set, within something that I'm actually excited and passionate about, that is going to be a real solution to an actual problem that people have? And then how can I provide them that solution in the form of a product or a service or a community or coaching or masterminds, or fill in the blank for any of the different ways that you can generate revenue? If you really look at it like it's that simple, you're going to be able to make progress. Because listen, I get it. You've got a full-time job, most of you. Like, you've got bills to pay, you've got families, you've got this, you've got that. You've got a finite amount of time. So instead of like trying to, again, save the world with your first entrepreneurial journey, don't do it. Just try to solve one problem better than anybody else, and you will win.
Yeah, I love that. And we'll talk a little bit about this here, but I started out as a side gig and a side hustle, my business on coaching people through paying off their student loans quicker.
Great example.
Exactly. And I'm going to keep it as a side gig. I'm going to keep it as a side hustle. And there's a lot of reasons for that I'll kind of go into here. But like, just starting out, right? You've made your first few dollars, you're starting to get a little momentum behind you. How do you start to strategize and think about growing bigger and scaling, right? And again, like we talked about, maybe scaling isn't the option. For me, I need the 9-to-5 because my wife's a type 1 diabetic. And so we need the benefits. And my job as a professor provides those benefits for me. And I then, like you said, I only have a finite amount of time after that. So I'm perfectly comfortable keeping my side gig and side hustle as just that. But you may want to scale too. So what are some of the things you start to strategize as you make your first few bucks and you get that momentum behind you?
So you start looking at like, what is the world that I live in? Well, we're lucky that we live in a world where there's such a thing called capitalism. And capitalism means there's supply and demands. And guess what? When you first start your thing, there's not going to be much supply, there's not going to be much demand for what you're supplying, because you may not be that known. You may not be that good at delivering the solution to the problem that we talked about. So you're going to have to do what it takes to get that initial momentum, that initial traction, get those first couple clients in the door. Like when I launched this podcast back in 2012, I'll never forget, my first coaching client was paying me $800 a month for a lot of coaching. Guess what my rate is now? It's $500 every 30 minutes. And you can only book me for 30 minutes at a time because I just don't have the time and the ability to serve that many people. And I get all the requests to do so, but I just can't and won't do it. So the supply and demand has shifted. Now that's 10 years. That did not happen overnight. It's 10 years of me positioning myself as a podcasting guy to now be able to command a $500 per 30 minutes, which essentially is $1,000 per hour rate. And guess what? I used to be, I don't even want to know what my rate was back when I was doing $800 a month, for the entire month of coaching somebody to do their podcast. But I had to start somewhere, and you have to start somewhere too. And over time, as you get better at what you do and more people hear about you and the referrals start coming in, you can start raising your rates, making more money for what it is that you're doing. And then you can also come up with other ideas, like maybe, hey, now instead of just doing one-on-one coaching, I used to bring 10 people in at one time and coach all of them in a group setting, like a Zoom call, which now a lot of us are familiar with thanks to COVID. Like we can just all get in a Zoom call. And now I have 10 people paying me $100 instead of one person paying me $200. Like I'd much rather have $1,000 for that hour than $200 for that one-on-one. So like that's an example of going into the group coaching thing. And then you even think deeper than that. You're like, well, what about just having like a monthly recurring? Like now I'm going to start a mastermind where I'm going to be, dropping this interview with JLD into my special mastermind group where only they're going to have access to like maybe the bonus question that you're going to ask me today that like only your mastermind is going to get access to. And maybe that's, $50 a month. Maybe it's $25 a month. And again, you start small and it grows over time. And then maybe before you know it, there's 100 people paying you $50 a month. And now all of a sudden that's real money and it just grows from there. So you have to realize you got to start from somewhere, and that somewhere is becoming the best solution to a real problem. So identifying that problem that you want to solve and become the best solution towards, and then you have a wide array of opportunities to offer them products and services and coaching and masterminds and groups, all which is obviously detailed out in this book.
Awesome. Yeah, you brought off a lot of really good points there, JLD. I think I started out as a physical therapist doing mobile physical therapy and charging $200 an hour, which is great for physical therapy rates. But if I can coach 10 people at $500 a pop for the hour, that's a much better use of my time there and leveraging the time. Well, let's talk about that book there. I'm excited for it. I pre-ordered it from uncommonsuccessbook.com, and there's a lot of reasons for that I'm sure we'll talk about. We'll put all the links in the show notes, but please tell my audience a little bit about this book and how it's going to help them.
Listen, this book right here, The Common Path to Uncommon Success, it's just that. It's not a complicated path. It's not a hidden path. It's not a secret path. It is a common path to your version of uncommon success. This book is a culmination, F Scott, of the 3,000 interviews I've done over the past decade, interviewing the world's most successful entrepreneurs. And I've downloaded all of their genius, all of their success into what I know are these 17 core foundational principles that all successful entrepreneurs share. And I turned that into a 17-step chronological roadmap to your financial freedom and fulfillment. So if the common path to your version of uncommon success sounds interesting, if following a step-by-step 17-step roadmap to financial freedom and fulfillment sounds interesting, this book will take you there step by step by step. It is a proven process that over 3,000 of the successful entrepreneurs that I've interviewed have gone through, myself included, by the way, who've been running this multi-million-dollar podcast called Entrepreneurs on Fire now for 9 years. So as you mentioned, uncommonsuccessbook.com is where you can learn all the details about it. There's insane bonuses. Like, have you gotten your journals delivered to you yet, F Scott? I mean,
not yet. I just ordered it on Friday of last week. So any day now.
Cool. So I'm shipping to your door, literally to your door, the Freedom Journal, which is accomplishing your number one goal in 100 days. I'm shipping you the Mastery Journal, Master Productivity, Discipline, and Focus in 100 days, and the Podcast Journal, Create and Launch Your Podcast in 50 days. All on me. I'm losing money on every single pre-order. That's not the point. I need to get this book into your hands because I want you to have the gift of financial freedom and fulfillment. So for one single pre-order, you get all of those bonuses plus 4 other insane bonuses. If you go to that website, you'll see my endorsements from Gary Vaynerchuk, Seth Godin, Erica Mandy, Neil Patel, Dory Clark. You'll get a chapter of the book there. You can read it to see if you like my writing style. There's a video of me describing the details about the book in more depth. And then descriptions of all 5 bonuses, uncommonsuccessbook.com.
Yeah, those bonuses, I mean, the journals and workbooks alone are worth way more than the book is. But I personally already have my side business, side gig. It took me a while. It took about 3 years before I was even profitable, but now I'm starting to gain momentum. Now I'm profitable, and I'm still ready to go over that book and start from scratch and just see how I can better my business.
And to your point, by the way, F Scott, you should start at step 1, not because you're going to be scratching everything you've done, but every step you're going to go through is going to be three things. Step one, you're going to be like, okay, I crushed this step. Awesome. Let me move on. Or number two, you're going to say, okay, I got to make some tweaks, pivots, and adjustments to this step, and then I'm going to move on. Or it's going to be, whoa, I really do need to wipe this slate clean and start over. So it's going to be one of those three for every one of those 17 steps. I like your attitude.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this book is going to be great for the beginners in my audience who are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, not really sure, or for the skilled entrepreneurs who are just looking to really fine tune their business and make it as best they can. I think really trying to find the best optimal setting for their business. So JLD, I can't thank you enough for your time and for coming on the Vlogcast today. It's just been a pleasure talking with you. And, I can't wait to hear everything that comes out for you in the future. And, again, I wish you a lot of success, and I can't wait to read that book, man. I appreciate you.
F Scott, you're the man. Take care, brother.
Thank you.